The president thinks that Raila Odinga should do the honorable thing and accept defeat, like Isaac Ruto did in Bomet, and work with him. Rosa Buyu, your reaction?
I almost burst out. I almost laughed. I think Raila Odinga is his own person and his own individual. And if Isaac Ruto accepts defeat, Raila does not necessarily have to accept defeat. So it's in his constitutional right to do exactly what he's doing by going to court. And I think that is granted in the Constitution.
But the president makes a point, which is Isaac Ruto also is a principal in NASA. In Bomet, where he reigned as governor, he lost to Joyce Laboso, and he was there at that ceremony to hand over.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. Just because Isaac Ruto has conceded defeat does not mean that Raila has to concede defeat. Raila was vying for presidency of this country. Isaac Ruto was vying for governor of Bomet. And if he feels that that race was fair and square, that's okay. It's in his right to concede. But it's also in Raila Molo's right to also pursue the options that he's pursuing, because he believes, like most of us believe, that the elections were not free and fair.
Kipchumba, she's pushing back on that president, what the president said.
Allow me first of all to congratulate my friend Ledama, or Kina. Yeah, I'll get used to the name. And my friend Rosa Buyu. Actually, I'm very happy for Rosa because myself and her and other 5 or so MPs almost 15 years ago went through a school of training for leadership coming from different parts of the country. And I'm happy that finally she made to come to Parliament. And I'm also happy that all of them were not computer generated, and they are proud to have been elected, just like all the 47 governors were elected by the people of Kenya. The same to senators and everybody else. I think what Honorable Raila Odinga is going through is understood. He has stood for presidency for 4 years, four times. He's lost in all those 4 times. He has gone through difficult times in 2007 with the rest of Kenyans. And so, you know, you go through denial, you go through struggles with yourself. There seems to be no chance for him to stand again in 2022. But I think he's going to be a candidate again.
He says that 3 out of those 4 times, the person who did not win the presidency was declared the winner.
Exactly.
Well, that's normal. You've had coaches, sometimes one of the most famous quotes by Jose Mourinho was that the best team lost. And it's normal when people are dealing with a loss, that usually happens. And I think as Kenyans, we should help Honorable Raila Odinga to come to terms with it slowly. And I think in another 2-3 weeks, it will be okay, it will be fine, and as a country, we'll be able to move forward together.
Ledama, time to react.
Larry, thank you so much. I think what my dear brother Kipchumba, and I'm really happy that we're going to be together in the Senate, what he does not seem to understand, and what Uhuru doesn't seem to understand, is that this election was never about Raila. Raila made it very clear that he's running for the last time. He wants to make right all the wrongs that will impede on justice. And I believe that Raila is a gentleman enough. If these elections were fair, credible, and, you know, transparent, he would be ready to shake hands with anybody. But he can't, because what Raila is doing is that he's fighting for the future generation. When I'm here, people like Raila, people like Orengo, they fought for us, you know? So we too must fight, must support Raila, because what Raila is doing is that he's trying to make sure that our future children, or the future generation of this country, have an election whereby no one will ever question.
Right.
So when Uhuru says that Raila should just be a gentleman enough and shake hands, if we were given a free, credible, you know, and transparent election, my friend, no, let me finish. You know, anyone would be willing to do that. But in a situation whereby people are confused, they think that election is about one individual. It is not.
Larry, you know, a time comes when one has to say enough is enough. In 2007, when Raila ran for presidency, we all knew, and every Kenyan knows, that Raila actually won that race. But because of bloodshed and he was not willing to see more Kenyans die. He got into an agreement or into the coalition government and said he's going to live to fight another day.
Absolutely.
In 2013, there was no, Jubilee did not clearly win from the onset. They did not get 50+1. But because the courts gave them the victory, Raila decided that he has fought for this democracy for so long, he's not going to take the country again into any shambles. So what he did, he accepted the decision of the High Court, or of the Supreme Court. Now, Raila is faced with, hey, this is the third time this is happening. Doesn't our elections or doesn't the votes of Kenyan citizens count for anything? Do Kenyans go out and vote and then end up with a result that they did not desire? So as somebody who's been fighting for democracy and as somebody who's been trying to put Kenya into the highest standards of democracy, is it just going to accept yet a third time that let us just go with it? Or is he going to stand his ground and fight for it and make sure that our electoral processes are brought to where they should be?
I think it's important to, Larry, to say, I think the right question should not be why is Raila losing elections 4 times. The right question should be why Raila is still a candidate in elections.
What do you mean?
Is it in the absence of credible Kenyans who can replace him or who can run for office? Number 2, is Raila the first person to lose elections in this country? In 2002, Uhuru Kenyatta lost elections. He conceded. And in 2007, Uhuru Kenyatta decided to support Mwai Kibaki. In 2013, Uhuru Kenyatta won. So the miscalculations of Raila Odinga, the self-preservation, the desire that it must be him and no one else, is actually the reason of his disastrous performance.
Absolutely.
And it's time for him to wake up to the reality and realize that there are many other Kenyans who would have been a better candidates in his place if he had supported them. And that sometimes you don't have to play number 9 all the time. You know, even players who started playing number 9, you will find others who used to play midfield are now playing defense, and they would better play defense, or they can be goalkeepers. And at his age and time, it is now real that having been beaten by 1.5 million votes, and forget about these stories is peddling around
with
about
computer-generated leaders.
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm saying. Forget about these stories is peddling around about computers. And I don't know any intelligent person who can believe that, because you can only be unschooled to come to anywhere, even near television, and discuss questions about computer. These elections,
Kipchumba, listen.
Let me
you know, hacking. No, don't just say facts. Put facts on the table.
Just relax. I'm making
because the biggest mistake you're making here is to assume that we are all analog and we don't know computers. Just relax. You know.
You see, Larry, these elections were manual. Yeah. The voting was manual. I'm the one who drafted the law. So
it doesn't matter whether you drafted the law, speak facts. The only thing which was manual is the casting of the ballot. Relax. Okay?
The casting of votes,
but the verification of a person was not manual.
The only thing we accepted to do in these elections is to say that we are going to only verify people using electronic device, and we are going to transmit the initial results with a computer. But that does not mean that it's final. No. The only credible election, relax. The only credible results facts that are going to be presented before the Supreme Court is a result that was voted manually, counted manually, tallied manually, and transmitted manually. In fact, the reason why there are 50,000 papers which have been presented to the Supreme Court. Tomorrow, when evidence is laid before the court, and
two weeks after the announcement of the
once the case begins in court, the computers become completely irrelevant because we were not doing computer voting. So there is a creation, because some of these people think that Kenyans are stupid. There is an imagination, they want to create an imagination that we are voting electronically. We never voted electronically.
No, let me respond to
that. We voted
because I think you are misrepresenting facts, Kipchumba. No, I'm not going to relax and let you bluff and talk about an election which was manual.
Just relax.
No, I'm not going to relax and have you lie to people. We're not stupid.
No, you will have your chance.
What is incorrect about what he said?
What he's saying?
Because
hold on.
The voting was manual. The casting of the ballots was manual.
Unless you voted electronically. So this is what happens when you go to a polling station. You get a manual paper. You tick the candidate you want. You drop it manually to a box. The voting day closes in the evening.
all the papers are counted manually.
One by one.
2, 3,
Yes.
4, 5. They're tallied using a pen. They are added, and there is a form called 34A. That is the primary elections document that will be presented in court.
Right.
And it's a manual document. The only thing we did in that law, because I and Orengo and Kiraitu and others drafted that law, what we did was to say, for the initial transmission results, in fact, Senator Orengo, because he was the co-chair, was insisting that the results, when they come from polling station, we just transmit immediately to the tallying center without having a copy of a paper. But our amendment from Jubilee
Which tallying center? The constituency tallying center?
No, the polling station. Forget about the constituency. So what we did in the law was to, because of Jubilee pushing in the committee, we ensure that you don't just send the results, you also scan a copy of Form 34A so that you can follow it.
Great.
However,
you need to finish, Murkomen. Yes.
However, let's agree. However, we made it clear that the final results that are going to be presented are the manual results that are written in the Form 34A. That's why when the discussion goes place, whether the computer was hacked or was not hacked, it's immaterial. What is important is when you sum total of 40,000 Form 34A, who won the elections? Uhuru Kenyatta won fair and square by more than 1.5 billion.
All right, let's leave it there for the moment because Sabina Chege has now joined us. Congratulations on winning back your seat in Muranga.
Thank you very much.
We're talking about President Kenyatta's comments in Bomet asking Raila Odinga to do the honorable thing like Isaac Ruto and accept defeat. Go ahead. He says that Uhuru Kenyatta won by 1.5 million votes.
I don't even want to talk about that. I want to respond to what he was saying. This election, the only part which was manual was the part whereby you come in, you pick your ballot, you go in and vote. But the transmission of listen, the counting is also manual. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. But the transmission of results, don't misrepresent facts here. Listen, no. I gave you time to talk, so you should just shut up and listen. What you do is very simple. You transmit the results electronically. You identify the voter electronically. And what the law says, which I want to remind you, even if you're the one who drafted that law, is that when you transmit the results, you also you scan. You scan the Form 34 and you send it in. The problem is this. It did not say you come and scan them in Nairobi. It says you scan them at the polling station and you transmit them there.
So is it your contention that what's in those Form 34As is different from what was declared?
Hang on.
No,
When you want to identify, when you want to determine,
what you're trying to do is that you're trying to
when you want to determine
lie to
who
Kenyans.
won. No. When you want to determine who won the elections, where do you go? Do you go to a computer or you go to Form 34A?
You go to which?
Okay.
The original Form 34A.
I'll answer his question.
Original Form 34A.
Let me answer his
But
question.
But listen.
Exactly. So the whole story about computer is immaterial.
I need to understand where the disagreement is because is it your contention, therefore, that the result that was declared by IEBC is it different from what the Form 34As will prove?
No. You see what he's saying?
I think there are cases where you'll find that is the case.
There's a variance.
Let me tell you this. This is what is supposed to have happened. From the polling station, the results were supposed to be transmitted to the constituency tallying center.
And at the same
Just
time,
keep quiet. Just leave it. Now, when you get to the constituency tallying center, you tally the results from all those polling stations. And what gets to the national tallying center is the results from 290 constituencies.
Yes.
Tallied results in the 290 constituencies. In their wisdom, in what they were trying to do, they were transmitting results from polling station to the national. And that's what they were using.
All right.
Okay? In that process, you end up tampering with the original results. And that's why you could not produce original Form 34A.
Hang on. Let's Sabina.
Let's talk about the law.
Real quick.
The law says you in the polling station you scan the Form 34A and send to constituency.
Did you do that?
Yes. Wait, and send to the. I'm not an IBC.
Did they
you
do
scan
that?
from at polling station, send to the constituency, and at the same time to the national center.
Okay.
However, the reason why we sat in Bomas for more than 5 days waiting for the ultimate results was because we were waiting for Form 34B, which is the authentic results for declaration of presidential elections
Yes.
by constituency returning officer,
All right.
which is final,
No,
and which
no.
actually was for
It's
confirmed.
because
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me get Sabina in
Was
here.
confirmed,
I need-
No,
it
no,
was
no,
confirmed by the
Murkomen.
Supreme Court.
Great.
After NASA went to
It's
court,
because you are
it was
ignoring constituency
declared.
tallying
Okay.
It
and
was-
tallying
it was
directly
declared
from
by
polling
law.
stations.
I
It was
don't
declared
think
by
so.
law.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, Sabina, go ahead.
I request some attention.
Yes, Sabina,
Thank
go
you very
ahead.
much.
Give you all the attention.
And I think I've been listening.
Yes.
And out of experience, I was one person who was, I had to wait for my results from the county level. And we had to wait for all the constituencies to finish their tallying so that then we can also have our county. And I think at the same time, the same experience went through the presidential candidates. And for us, we experienced some delays. I was given my certificate on Saturday.
Yes.
Because they had to wait for the returning officers first to confirm the presidential ballot papers and
Yes.
actually the tallying.
Yes.
And I think it's good for us once to accept that in any election, and I think some of all of us here were candidates, that everybody, even the one who got 100 votes, even the one who got 2 votes, there were people who told them they would win.
Yes.
And they believed in it. And that's why they didn't give up. And that's why they went till the last. Actually, some of them, they were defeated at the nominations. Some of them chose to say the nominations how they were. For sure, there are some areas that the nominations were not fair. And we saw these people winning finally. But at the end of the day, we all went for a general election. And when we waited, and it has been a process, as Murkomen said, from Parliament making laws and making sure the IBC officials, all of them went home with a new team for the commissioners, and again the processes of election. I want to say, Riley, out of my experience from 2013, because now I've been re-elected again as Muranga Women Rep. 2017 was above par, and I think everybody, even the observers, agreed on it.
Disagree.
All the observers gave this election
They
a clean
came,
bill of health.
and let me tell you,
The African Union, the East African Community, the
everybody.
Carter Center.
But let me ask you, what was
I
the
think I need to
honorable-
finish.
Let her
because
finish
I
first.
have been listening to
Let her
all of
finish,
you.
yes, Sabina.
And secondly, from my own again experience, when we had to wait for the presidential tally to be done, there are the Form 34s and the 34B, and we all waited, and finally, the elections and the results were announced at Bomas. And I think the honorable way for either side, Jubilee or the NASA team, I don't know whether to call it ODM or NASA, because NASA didn't have a presidential candidate. ODM had a presidential candidate. So, well, I don't know how to
Call
call
it
it.
NASA, don't-
Let me call it ODM, because that they had a presidential candidate. For anything, if anybody is protesting, they should actually follow the procedures and go to court. But it is very disheartening for Kenyans, and for myself as a candidate who went through. Somebody who stood and said, IBC are almost to announce the results, but we are not going to court because court is not a solution. Then they stay one day and tell Kenyans, don't go to work on a Monday. Then they stay again and tell Kenyans, okay, because Kenyans went to work and said, if you don't go to work, are you going to feed us? And these were hard questions.
They say some of you are computer-generated leaders.
But I am not, and I think you can look at me. I don't look, I'm not generated by computer. Let me finish. And so people who say we are not going to court, then they tell people don't go to work, but people disagree with them and go to work. Then finally they say we are going to court. And at the same time they are challenging and saying, yes, we are in a process, we are in court, but we are not trusting. I think we need to be sincere with ourselves.
Right.
And when we say we are Democrats, when we say we are patriotic to this nation, we need to mean our words. We just don't mean to just talk and say we are Democrats or we are patriotic. If anybody is contesting and saying, yes, the Form 34, Form 34A or B were tampered with, kindly table evidence. And what I want to tell people is that Kenyans are tired. I was there in 2007. I was a journalist like
Larry,
you.
you're gonna give
I
us a
was
chance
in the
to
media.
talk.
Yes,
No,
Rosa, you
And I
have a chance.
know-
And I know what, it's not talking,
we
these are
can,
facts. I was in the media. I stayed in a media house for actually almost 5 days because we couldn't get presenters to come in. Because you know what happened, all of us know the history of this nation. Anybody who would like to take us back to 2007, that a person is insane. And I would like to say that clearly.
Okay.
Because this nation, we casted our ballots. And anybody with doubts, come with the forms where there's contention or where you feel that you are actually or somebody didn't give the right, whether it's IBC, because I was a candidate. So I was not my own referee.
Okay.
And if anybody saying I didn't win fairly, then go to court.
Okay.
Bring your papers.
Rosa
But
Buyu.
don't go to court and again and start saying we don't trust the court. And you are the one who went to court.
Larry, I want you to be as
So
patient
where does
as you
this
with
NASA come
me
ODM stand?
as
Okay,
you
Rosa
are-
Buyu,
as
go
you
for
are
it.
with Sabina.
Yes.
First of all, I want to say this. The problem is, and I like what he said, that results were supposed to be transmitted from the polling station, and as the results are being transmitted, Form 34As should have been scanned alongside that.
Correct, that's the law.
If that had been done and that law had been followed, it would not have taken us almost 2 weeks to produce Form 34As. Remember, NASA kept on asking where this Form 34As, because that is where you'd get the raw results. But Form 34As were only made available yesterday. How is that possible? If they were being scanned, no, just hold on.
That's a lie.
When were they taken? They have not been available. I think IBC had 30,000 and could not get the other 10. Anyway, whatever. So if they were being done simultaneously, you'd not have had a lapse of 2 weeks before they could be produced. Just keep quiet. No.
Let her finish.
I listen to you.
Yes.
I want to talk about the role of observers, because she's candidly said that observers gave 100% whatever for these elections. Our election process has evolved. In the olden days, there was a lot of vote buying or people being given money in the queues. There was a lot of violence. So whenever the observers came, they particularly paid attention to those two items. Is there any vote buying on the queue? Just listen to me. And is there violence? But the process has evolved. And with the transmission of results that we had this time, I don't think the observers had any keen interest in how these results were being transmitted. We are all agreed that voter turnout was great. We are all agreed that voting itself was largely peaceful, and our issue is with the transmission of those results. That is where the problem was. And just hold it. And the observers really played no role in ensuring or checking or just bothering to see if that was credible.
Great. Murkomen raised response.
Larry, if the problem is only transmission, then it's laughable. I understand why they are panicking and saying that the court is not final. Because, Larry, we are intelligent people. The law says that the final document for declaration of presidential election is Form 34B.
Yes.
Which is tallied by the constituency returning officer. That position was not just provided for in law, it was actually confirmed by the Court of Appeal because NASA went to court. And when they went to court, they said, and they celebrated, you remember the celebrations, that now elections cannot be rigged, the results will be final in the constitution.
Yes.
Number two, by law. Just relax, my friend. You will have your time.
Yes.
Number two,
yes.
Number two, and most important, is that every polling station had every presidential elections agent. Yeah. And when you fill Form 34A in the polling station, it is signed, a copy is given to every agent. If an agent of NASA felt like in Kakimiti polling station in Elgeyo Marakwet County, that the results are not tallying with whatever, what the simple thing was, they keep their evidence, and as Sabina said, they just prepare for the day of election petition. Mm-hmm. In the election petition day, computers will not be relevant. It will be that document that agent from the polling station will carry and say, look, there's a variance between what I have and the results that has been
great. Ledama.
The biggest problem we have as a country is the mistrust. Okay? And I sit here and listen to Kipchumba talking. And a lot of people don't know what 34A, 34B, 34C is. 34A is the raw document. That is the only place we can get facts. 34B is a spreadsheet. You take 34A forms and then you come and compute them together. So you cannot come and tell me that is a final. If the law is very clear, just listen. Listen, if the law is very clear that when the results are announced, they are transmitted to the constituency and also to the tallying center. Why was that not done?
So 34B was the final, but you circumvented that process and dealt from polling station direct to national.
Rosa actually,
do we have any discrepancy?
Let me just say, Sabina, one thing. Rosa's position is different from Ledama's. You can see Rosa understands the law.
Are you saying that Rosa and Ledama saying two different things?
No, Rosa actually, our only contention was, and she understands the position, she's just saying that what came to the constituency, our contention is that what came to the constituency was delayed and is not authentic. And that is where now the Supreme Court will look at and say...
Is that a summary of what you're saying?
Is
that a summary of what you're saying?
They circumvented the process.
Yeah.
Instead of the polling stations being brought and tallied at the constituency and this being the final result that is only transmitted for national tallying. They circumvented this process of the constituency and reported directly from the polling station to national. No, it's not.
Really?
The constitution of the law says that the final result is the tallying done at the constituency.
Assuming that Rosa is right, just one more.
Yes.
Don't assume she is right.
Assuming that she's right, and she's not. She's not because the reason why she's not right is because partly she's right. That there is also.
What are you saying?
What are you saying?
The reason why she's right, but partly she's not.
She's only partly right. To the extent that the results are transmitted from polling station to constituency, she's right. But she's forgetting that same law said you transmit to the constituency at the same time to the national
But
center.
the national center had no business tallying from polling station.
did
Get
not.
me right. They
Let's,
did.
Sabina,
That is
Sabina,
what you guys did.
Sabina, say
And
this
I
before I go
want
to
you
break.
guys actually
Rosa
want to
Buyu,
find
let
out
Sabina say this before I go to break.
Rosa,
Yes.
because she's declared as a winner, whether she's contesting that whatever results she received were different. And question number 2, where are the discrepancies? If whatever was tallied from the polling station to the national, and whatever was tallied from the constituency to the national, is there any discrepancy? That's the first question. Secondly, I had my own tallying center.
Yes.
For me, I relied from what came from the polling station.
From your agent.
Actually, that's the most authentic result. Because from the tallying centers, then going to the constituency, we actually discovered that when maybe the officers were doing the announcement, there was some maybe discrepancies, and we raised them because I heard from the polling station. So for me, I'll be very happy not to receive actually the total sum of a constituency is from a polling center.
Supposed to be, yes.
So the polling center is actually the most authentic result.
Yes.
And I should be happy actually when you transmit from the polling center to the national. But the question is, can you name
The discrepancy.
the discrepancies
Wait.
now?
So
Kenyans.
if you want to hack and for
No,
hacking
no,
purposes,
it's not about
it's
hacking.
easier to hack from
I
polling
have,
station
Rani.
to transmitting from polling station
Rani,
to national.
I have,
as opposed
I
to
have.
having it tallied at the constituency.
Yes,
Rani,
Sabina.
I have my documents from my polling centers. I have what was announced at the polling centers.
Yes.
I have my documents from the constituencies because
Yes.
for me, I'm almost at the presidential level because I'm
Because
at
you
the
have
county.
to, all of the,
So I have
all
my
of
signed
Muranga
document
County.
from a
Yes.
polling center.
Yes.
And I have my documents from the constituencies. So my document from the constituencies must tally
your
from the
agent.
polling center because I had an agent from every polling station.
Absolutely.
Then from there, then it comes to the county. So if there was any discrepancy, then I can raise questions. Then I can go to
In
court.
short,
And I want to ask them this
therein
question.
lies the case.
The question
In short.
is, do you guys have any polling station or any constituency that gave different results from what came from the polling centers to the constituencies to the counties to the national?
Sabina, without going into detail,
Do we have any? No,
therein
name.
lies the case.
No, let me tell you, don't take
Therein
Kenyans round.
lies the case.
No, don't
Okay.
take Kenyans round.
Sabina, you've said something
Tell
which I
us.
want to pick up on.
Yeah, but
Really
tell us
quickly,
where-
I have to go to break. We're
You
coming back.
Say, you
Ledama,
talked about
yes.
34As, okay? Then my question to you is this. If the 34As were scanned and sent to IBC, why were they not provided to NASA when they requested them?
But
But
they
you
are there
have
now.
your
They're
agent.
available.
You have your agent now.
Do you have
Stop
any
even
questions?
that. You have your 40,000
But
agents.
I'm your agent.
Why
My
do you-
agent said
why
I'm
do
not-
you can't say that?
I'm not a
Because
presidential candidate.
and
But
NASA
my agent
agents
had
were
not.
kicked out of polling
NASA did not
Okay.
need
Where were they
transmitted
kicked out?
results.
You see?
No,
They
NASA did not
complained.
need. But let me explain
You
something.
know,
But where were they kicked
Kipchumba-
And I
out?
think people should read the law. The Form 34A, which is from polling station, is the one that has original results. But sometimes it has rejected ballot papers. No, listen.
let me ask you.
The person who's going to determine the validity of a rejected ballot paper is the returning officer at the constituency. When it reaches constituency, any contested rejected paper, the returning officer then will say, is it going for Mr. X or Mr. Y, and gives the final presidential results through at Form 34B.
I gotta ask this
Now,
question.
once you have all that,
Okay.
your agent in your
Can we
polling
start
station
doing the
has
names?
the original 34A.
This
No,
All right.
let me say at the original 34A,
Yeah.
and your agent the constituency at 34B. You do not need a form from IBC.
You know,
just needed to
Kipchumba,
wait
you're
the results.
taking-
No, you
you're
just need to
taking
wait
us
the
as if
results.
we are
The
fools.
results are
Let me tell you
offered
something.
No.
and prepared to go to
One
court.
thing, no, hold on. If you're saying that everybody needs to know the law,
Yeah.
and I'll refer you back to that law that you keep on talking about, okay? When the Kims, the way they were supposed to work,
Computers and
just
materials.
listen, okay? If the scanning was supposed to be done once and it cannot be done twice, what was an exercise book? how did it find itself in the IEBC database?
Listen,
My question
listen,
remains.
ladies,
My question
gentlemen.
remains.
Yes,
Can I answer his question?
I have to
Do
go
we
to a
have
break.
names?
Why are you answering a question for the
He
IEBC?
has asked the
Yeah.
question.
Why are you
He has
answering a
asked-
question?
no,
Why are you
he
answering a
has
question
asked
for
the same
IEBC?
thing.
One and the same thing.
Do you know why this exercise book ended up in the portal?
That is
One
why
and the same
that's
thing.
why I'm coming.
Where?
Do you have a simple answer?
I want to answer
Answer
this
it.
way.
Yes.
When NASA, what
No,
NASA
don't
should be
say
doing,
NASA.
what NASA
No, no,
should
no.
be doing,
Answer
or
the-
ODM.
answer the
listen.
question that I
What
asked.
ODM should be doing is to say, in polling station Y,
Yes.
our agent has the original document signed for
Present.
a form
That's-
from
that's
IBC.
for the Supreme Court to
However,
decide.
the one
No,
which
no,
was
no,
sent
no.
was an exercise book.
That's why I'm
It is a
asking.
lie.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking for names
Right.
of the polling
Specific
stations.
polling
or
stations
They're
constituencies.
not
where
gonna
they're
give
varied.
those names
Why
here.
should
That's
we-
for the Supreme
that's
Then why are you
Court.
talking?
why
Then
you
don't
asking us
confuse
to
Kenyan.
All right.
No, we are not.
Ladies and
At least
gentlemen.
finally, we have agreed
no,
the,
no.
the evidence is manual. So
Exactly.
this computer business is immaterial.
All
Okay,
we're saying
ladies
is,
and gentlemen, I have to
wherein
take a
lies the
break.
case. Wait for it in Supreme Court.
Ladies and
That
gentlemen,
is-
let's leave it there for the moment. We're gonna. It is underwhelming, he says. We're gonna come back in a moment to discuss more with my panel. Stick around. There's not enough tea in the world for the conversation we're having right here. All of these are county representatives, county leaders. Elgeyo Marakwet, Kipchumba Murkomen, Kisumu County Woman Rep, elect Rosa Buyu is here, Muranga Woman Rep, elect again, second time, Sabina Chege, and Narok Senator-elect Ledama Kina. You guys were having a discussion about how many votes each of you brought to your respective coalitions, which was fascinating during the break. How many votes did you bring for NASA in Narok?
I brought over 180,000, but they stole some.
The computer took
The
some.
computer took some.
How
so
many?
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I would like to request that we become sober. We are talking about the future of this nation. These are very serious matters, okay? This country deserves to have leaders who will fight for the future generation. Kipchumba, it doesn't matter how much money I give you or how much power I give you. If we don't fight about this election, then there's no point of us having an election in future. Okay? This election, no, Sabina, I've listened to you talk and I've listened to Kipchumba shout here. This election was not about two individuals. It was not about Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga. It is about the future of this nation. And that is what we ought to be discussing here.
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
The Supreme Court will determine the facts. They'll be provided with the facts. The only prayer that we have with the Supreme Court is that each of those judges should write their own decision. They should write it in a simple language that everyone should understand.
All right.
You know? So in this case, if we fight about the integrity of the election, we need to remember that we have a future in this country. You know, let's not just shout. Let us be very sober and discuss real facts.
Larry,
Yes.
Ole Kina and my friend Rosa here are on a light note. They have just arrived in town. In terms of,
I've been in this town for a
they've
long
just
time.
been elected. They've
I
just
just
been
haven't been
elected.
carrying my bags,
They've
but
just
I'm
been
in
elected.
town.
I'm just
For 10
saying, and
years,
I
I have
already
been
said
in
on a light note. I know that. I know that. I'm just saying on a light note. And we have had this conversation. I have, in every reform-related processes in Parliament, I have chaired some. I have been a member in some of them. And my colleague here has been part and parcel, including education reforms as a chair of education. We care about this country. The reason why 54% of Kenyans voted for Uhuru Kenyatta is because they can see the future of the republic is safe in his hands. Sure. And those who voted for Raila Odinga, 42% or so, did not also say that they didn't like him. They liked him. But ultimately, we must establish a republic that respects the constitutional order. That says that once you have an election, you must complete an election. The winner must be, the loser must congratulate the winner, but the winner must not load over the rest who do not vote for them.
Great.
And the unfortunate
Kipchumba,
thing,
you must start making shorter points.
No, but the unfortunate thing we are having is that we have an old man who should be...
Let him finish his point. Let him finish his
This is
point.
important.
Let him finish his point.
Let us have respect. It's not about being old.
No, relax.
Just
relax.
He's a honorable member.
Ole Kina.
Just refer to him.
Maybe he's
as-
not referring
relax.
to. How do you know which old man
No,
he's
you
referring to?
don't even know the old man I'm talking
we know what
about.
you're
Let me
talking
complete.
He's talking about the former president, Mike Kibaki.
Might be even,
All right, that's what you're
even
talking
more.
about. So be it.
It is better when it's Kibaki.
But no,
We
it's
got you.
it's not
But
better
the
when
point
it
is this.
Kibaki.
The point is this. We have an old man who, in African
old
culture,
man?
in African culture, by all standards, is our father, and actually is my grandfather, and we call him Baba. instead of living by the principles of the Constitution
No, come on.
that
Don't
he
leave it
believes that he fought for, he is now contradicting every sentence of the Constitution. And I think the conscience of every
How is he
Kenyan-
contradicting every sentence
because
of the Constitution?
honestly,
How can you make a claim
well,
like that?
I mean, I worked with Raila Odinga. I was in Yes
I
campaign
was just
against
about
all
to
odds.
remind you of that.
I worked with him.
Even
I
in
mean,
the devolution
I mean,
process, I was
do
about
you know
to
many
remind you.
people
You
are
were
telling
sacrificing, make him forget.
I was telling Olekina here that you are in a party that was founded by Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. So the point I'm trying to say is this: that as a country, we must learn to live by the constitutional principles that says that you have an election, you have a dispute, you go to court. You reach the court, the determination.
But isn't that
you
what
make
they have
is
done?
final.
They have a dispute, they have gone to
No.
court.
The one that worries me most is for one to wake up one morning and say, oh, you know, it doesn't matter even what the courts are going to decide. We're going to fight. We're going to do.
In fact,
this.
let me play that soundbite for you. Let's leave it. Let me play. He didn't say they're going to fight, so let me play the exact soundbite. Let me play the exact soundbite that Raila Odinga said in Mombasa yesterday at the inauguration of Governor Ali Hassan Joho.
Elections should end with the counting of votes. The Supreme Court is made up of 7 judges. The discretion of 7 individuals, however wise, can neither represent nor substitute the voice of 15 million people. 7 individuals can be intimidated, they can be compromised, and they can make genuine mistakes. Kenyans are still trying to understand what exactly happened in the Supreme Court of 2013, when a decision about their votes was delivered in minutes and a paragraph.
Your reaction, Sabina, to what the Raila Odinga said?
Now, it was in English, and I'm a Kikuyu, and for sure,
She doesn't understand
I fully
English.
understand, and I think one thing, even if it's translated in Luo, I would understand because I'm a Kenyan. That's one thing. When you say elections should have ended at voting,
Yes.
It's counting.
At counting.
Counting.
Yes.
then we know the results of the elections. And the IBC announced at that point, at the counting, and now we know who is the winner. And so what Raila Amolo Odinga said yesterday, that he appreciates that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is the president of this Republic of Kenya, or was declared the winner. So when you say Supreme Court has only 7 Kenyans, let me call them Kenyans, and you say you are doubting their wisdom, and at the same time you have taken...
He said, however wise, they cannot
Exactly.
represent
However wise.
the
That
destiny
means-
of 15 million people.
That means
Yes.
the wise is their wisdom.
Yes.
Now that I
Let
see
me
This
finish.
is not new, by the
No.
way. Hang on. This is not
Yeah,
new
that's
because
what he
in the
said.
last presidential petition,
okay.
Uhuru Kenyatta did say some 6 people, referring to the Supreme Court judges then.
It's okay, but he said the 7 guys,
Yes.
however wise, Kenyans spoke.
Larry, I speak
So
English and
it's okay.
understand English.
Let her
me
finish. Yes.
And because maybe I might have problems with English, but I'm okay. The thing is, I've said I can understand Luo and the other languages in Kenya. And what I want to say is this: if you're telling us, then you're doubting the wisdom of the 7 guys, and you have gone to seek for these people to intervene on your behalf.
NASA's argument,
Then
is that the
they-
courts
we have a
cannot
problem.
handle
So
electoral
why are you in court
impunity.
then?
NASA's argument, Sabina, is that the courts alone cannot handle
Let me ask you,
electoral
Rani.
impunity.
Then
Can I say
it's
So that-
only that
Can
when
I
the
say
courts they rule on your favor,
No,
you trust them.
That's
to
not
do
even
it.
what
not
Raila
true.
is saying.
Hang on, Rosa.
No, actually, I wanted to respond.
What
Give
Raila-
the-
You get... Hang on.
No, let them
respond to
answer then,
What Raila-
because we might need to understand the English. that we
Yeah,
don't
I, you know, I
Let them
speak
explain.
English and
Yeah,
understand English, and I
most
just want to
likely.
interpret and advise you on what Raila was actually saying. Raila is saying 15 million Kenyans got out to vote. The vote of each of those 15 million Kenyans must count.
And that is our position.
Can I continue?
Yes, Rosa.
Can
yes.
I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Listen, this is Raila speaking in me, so you'd better listen. The vote of each of those 15 million Kenyans must count in an effective electoral process. So when the 15 million people voted and their votes have been counted, that should actually be final. And therefore the counting, the transmitting, and everything should actually be in order. Because if it's in order, then you won't need just 7 wise men or 7 judges coming to determine the outcome of an election.
Ledama, pick it up from there. Yes.
Actually, before I even talk about that, I want to go back to what Kipchumba was talking about on the issue of the Constitution. That, you know, and I agree, and some might disagree, that maybe our constitution is not that perfect. But there are certain tenets of that constitution that this government seems to ignore. There is the issue of independent institutions. And whenever an independent institution is perceived to be leaning one side, then it becomes problematic for the rest of the people. We've got a judiciary, we've got the executive arm of government, and we've got the legislative arm of government. What is happening right now in the executive arm of government, and this is why you're finding people like Yunjuri supervising the swearing in of governors, it is affecting the devolved system of government. So in essence, what I'm saying, no, just listen. What I'm saying is this. You cannot come here and sit and tell us that one institution is independent, yet you are controlling it. Okay? No, listen, hold on. If you talk about the IEBC, okay? If you talk about IEBC, IEBC was meant to be very independent, but it's actually not independent. Okay? The executive arm of government is interfering with.
How did you get to their system to work?
Just listen.
I'm not,
you know what?
Right here.
You know, he is, eh?
We're asking questions.
Oh, okay. So, and I think what we need to be thinking about here is really, we cannot be putting words in people's mouth. What Raila said was very clear. He talked about the vote of every 15 million of us count. So we have a lot of issues. No, you are talking like one. When you are shouting and you're not actually going into the issue.
Yes, Kipchumba.
Raila Odinga was reported widely. That's why I wished the clip would have run a little bit further, because he said that no matter what the decision comes from the Supreme Court, they will still pursue process of electoral justice, which were extra constitutional. And my point is this, that, and I think we don't need to cover that, it's a fact. Raila Odinga is, as I said in my introductory remarks, is a man who is hurt by the loss. And even the people we beat, I beat my competitor with 81,000 votes. 81% of the votes, he got 14%. The computer-generated senator from Narok,
I want to ask
could have. Let me just complete. Could have also beat his competitor, or perhaps he was assisted to do so if he believes in the computer generation. But the point I'm trying to say is this: that since he's in that situation, he's contemplating. First of all, he's trying to intimidate the Supreme Court, and I want to tell. I want to tell everybody. I want to tell everybody that Supreme Court is composed of fine gentlemen and ladies. I believe they cannot be intimidated. Number two, can I complete? Number two,
you were saying things about the courts not too long ago.
I told you I will never fault NASA for arguing with the decision of 2013. Because as a country, can I complete?
But just the other day you threatened the judge.
Can I complete what I'm saying? I can never fault any Kenyan, including NASA, for disagreeing with a decision already made by courts. I have a problem with an individual, either as a Kenyan or in leadership or not, who is trying to intimidate a court that is yet to make a decision. And that's really the point I'm trying to make.
All right.
But no, I haven't concluded what I was saying.
You're talking too much.
So the perception you're saying that people perceiving that these institutions are not independent, we have no control of people's perceptions. What we have only control as a country is the fact that we have institutions. We allowed NASA to change the commissioners. We allowed them to do. They pushed that the elections must be final on constituency. We allowed them to do that. They pushed for constitutional. They pushed for electronic transmission of results. We allowed them to do so, and we told them, if you want Raila Odinga to be, or his relatives to be, the returning officer and commissioners, we'll give you, because we knew elections are won by the votes of the people of Kenya. And I agree with Raila Odinga that it is the votes of the people of Kenya, 15 million, who gave Uhuru Kenyatta 8.2 million votes that must actually count.
Okay, great.
Actually,
yes, Sabina.
There's this musician who sang this song, Nikiwa ndani, wapiga kelele.
Nikitoka nje, unanungunika.
Kisha wasema mimi sikupendi.
Na ukipendwa haupendeki.
Na ukipendwa haupendeki. We know now where these guys are heading to.
Where are we heading to?
You're heading to separating this nation.
Yes, let's separate
and will not allow you to.
Why?
It would even happen.
Why would you not allow us to do it?
Because you are already,
why would you not
you
allow
are
us
elected.
this?
I want to wait when the senators are sworn in that you don't take your oath.
No, that's irrelevant.
I want to wait for Rosa.
That's completely irrelevant.
If you believe the process was fraudulent,
don't
you not take your oath.
No, listen.
And you'll go to Kisumu and tell people, I am a Kivaranga
And
also.
they will learn
I'm
with
computer.
Yeah.
Please go.
Yes.
I'm waiting
Hang
for
on,
you.
let's talk about that. Will you
I
take
am
your
waiting
oath
for you.
when the Senate convenes?
That's irrelevant.
No, hang on. Let's answer
It's
it.
not relevant.
I will not
Tell
answer
Kenyans
that
now that you
question.
know
Will you take your oath when
Listen, I will
the
not
National
answer that
Assembly
question.
convenes, Rosa?
Tell us. Don't
Will you take
deceive
your oath
us.
when the National Assembly convenes?
Tell us.
Just listen
Don't
to
deceive
me.
us.
Rosa, can I just
We are
give a
waiting.
piece of her?
Not
whatever?
a piece.
I'm
Tell
telling
us
you,
it's one
the
question,
reason
a very
why,
simple.
the reason why some of us
Rally.
feel like it is
Allow
time for
them-
us to part is
It's not
because
about
of
party.
dominance,
Don't divide this nation.
injustice,
Kenyans
and
stayed in the
exclusion.
line for more
We
than 6
cannot
hours. They
continue being
voted.
excluded.
So I want you to tell me,
just
are you
words
going to
of
take your
mouth.
oath at the
Words of
Senate?
mouth of
Those
what?
are
It is
just words
practical.
Are you going to take your
We
oath
cannot
or
allow
not?
two ethnic groups to be the only
Are you
ones who
going
are
to take-
taking
Hang on,
leadership in this country.
hang on,
No.
Ledama, are you
Leadership
saying
is not
you
secession.
support?
No,
no, do I support-
Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask the
Secession? Yes, I
question.
do.
Do you support secession?
Yes, I do. 100%.
Why you
because,
support secession?
listen, we are a nation of 43 ethnic groups.
44
Or
now.
44 now with that one which was added. Okay? We have been excluded from power.
By who?
We've been
By who?
dominated
By who?
you and you.
By how?
The two ethnic groups. Okay? And
might be a
where we're
majority.
going, listen, no.
And I
This
have
is
no
a very
apologies.
serious point. Where we're going now is that,
That is juvenile.
okay, I have to fight for my rights. And if
Which
that
rights?
calls for me
Which right?
to sign a petition for
Which
me to
rights?
join other people of like-minded, the right for me also
Can I
to
also
leave
ask
this
him a
country is
question?
Can I
one
tell
way.
you
He says-
something?
I'm not going to
That
allow
is
just two
sidelined.
ethnic groups to be doing
Narok,
this.
where he comes from.
Yes.
Okay.
They are Jubilee.
No, they are not. They are ODM. You stole our votes.
Your governor
How
is
did
the
you
governor
tell you?
of
Can you-
Narok is a
Of
Jubilee
what
governor.
overwhelmingly.
Even a
No,
job.
we
And so I want to ask him,
Yes.
if you're going to divide,
Yes.
what part of Narok is going to go where?
The whole of Narok
And
will
which
go. The whole of
I
the
don't
people.
think so. They're not with
The
you.
people.
They're not
Listen,
with you.
what you need to understand
You're the
is
only one. That's why we need to know
and
you're the
Murkomen.
only one.
What you need to understand is this.
But
This
why are
is
you
very
guys?
serious.
Can I
Why you
come in?
guys? If we are computer
Can I say
generated,
something about
you
this
are also
secession
computer
thing?
generated.
Yes.
Tell us, are
Yes.
you going to take your oath or not? Rally, allow them to tell us.
No, first of all,
Kipchumba.
first of all, Sabina, there's no need to argue with people who will
we are
Argue
wasting
with people
time.
with what?
will
We are
greet
not psychopaths,
people.
we
Sikia.
focus.
No, you are not.
Focus.
you-
Are you going to take your
can
oath
I
or
can I
not?
complete? Can I
Listen.
complete?
Murkomen,
Let's
Ledama,
hold this
Murkomen, yes.
Ledama cannot wait for the day to take the oath of office
I know.
because he's desperate to be a
Let's be
senator.
serious. I'm
If
not
he was a
desperate.
serious
I
person
was
don't
about
take your
by,
oath.
I was elected by the mass size of Narok.
But
Are you going to take your oath or
listen,
not?
listen, Ledama.
So don't trivialize.
Hang on,
No,
let
listen.
Kipchumba
I
say
thought you were
something,
elected
yes.
by everybody in Narok.
No, I wasn't.
I thought so.
I was elected by the people who believe in progressive leadership.
Which part
So
of
you
Narok
are
is-
Not people who believe in tribalism.
You are not elected by all people of
Can I
Narok.
say this so that you
Okay,
stop
then that's your
this?
problem.
Kipchumba, yes, go
Let me
ahead.
say something, my friend. Wait, Larry. You see, we have a problem. We have a problem in this country. You
have
have
a
people.
problem because of psychopathy.
We have a problem of people like this,
Okay.
who only speak in their mouths to lie to Kenyans.
It's really
That
bad.
oh, you know, we are hurt. Elections were stolen, but you know they will rush to take the oath of office. Wait and see these characters in 1 week.
no.
They
You
will
see,
be in court
no,
saying,
no.
"I swear,
No.
I do this."
no.
Number
Let me
two,
ask you, what
number
did we
two,
vote
number
for
two,
the
number
eighth of
two,
August?
number
Whether
two. Let me
people take oath or
wait.
not?
These
No,
people are
he's-
going
you know
nowhere.
he's trying
Let me
to-
let me explain.
What do you
to
mean they're going nowhere?
What exactly do you
There's
mean by
nowhere
that?
Tinga is going.
Why?
They actually
Because you are-
there is nowhere
you-
it's going.
the
That
executive is now the one in control
that
of the
discussion
judiciary?
about
no evidence.
Secession,
no,
yes.
no, I'm not talking about judiciary anymore. We're in secession. That idea of separating from the rest of the country
Why can we not separate?
is only it's primitive, it's backward,
No, it is not.
it is
It is for my
juvenile.
right.
Just wait, it's
Don't call
juvenile.
it primitive.
It's the most primitive
call it
statement one can
juvenile.
say
No, I
because
think if you want to dominate-
peddlers,
Ledama, please
Yeah.
let him say
But
something.
no, but let
Ledama,
him-
Ledama, you can have a
hold
moment to
on. You can have
rebut
a
what he has
moment,
said. Please let him say something.
you know, the likes of D, by the way.
No, he's not here. Let's talk about
No, I mean, he was here last night.
And I also
then
want to
you
ask
should
a
have
question.
The likes of D, I know David D very well. In 2013, as part of Jubilee strategies, David D wanted to be the CS of finance. And the person who pushed him, who was pushing for his appointment, is the same person who was financing and pushing for NASA. And he's still a jilted lover. You know, he's feeling bitter and so forth. The prescription is giving Raila Odinga, he cannot even take it himself.
Where
Because
will he go?
D himself
Where does he come from?
cannot go to Murang'a or Nyeri or Kikuyu or somewhere in Kiambu and even hold a protest, let alone talking about secession.
How do you know that?
I know that because if he is a man enough, what he's trying to do is just
to incite one ethnic community
No, he's
to
not doing
run
He
into...
says it is political
No,
discourse.
no,
This is
no,
out there, so
there
he's
is not
sharing
that.
it.
That discourse is hogwash.
So we
Because, like, let me conclude.
But why are you intolerant about something he says? You should argue your own, make your own point.
I am saying
Yes.
they can make the decision, the discussion they can have it day and night, but it's hogwash, it's primitive, it is unimplementable. Because we are in 21st century. The discussion we are having is that people are talking about Federation of East Africa Community,
Exactly.
globalization, integration of regions. Any person who discusses that we can make Narok a country, or you can make Elgeyo Marakwet, where I come from, a country,
Why not?
or you can make Turkana a country,
Why not?
is actually the most backward person.
Why not?
And take it from me, Mr. Larry, it will not even happen. What Raila is planning to do, and we know, is just that after the court decision, if it doesn't favor him, because we don't know how the court will rule, if it doesn't favor him, he will do some protests and so forth. Unfortunately, he will not have support of county governments. Even Anyang' Nyong'o himself will not allow.
We don't know what will happen in
no,
future.
listen,
and
because
then
of
it
those
is
counties
Raila's right to
want move
protest,
forward.
isn't it?
Yes.
That constitution you are part of writing allows him to protest, allows Kenyans to protest.
The only self-determination that must happen in this country is the self-determination of the people of Luo Nyanza. For far too long, one person has held them hostage. For far too long, he has killed every new leader who has come to office. He has made sure that they will change.
What do you mean he has killed?
I'm saying politically. You know, people like Ocheng from his county, they just come up like this, they are finished. People like Ken Obura, they want to get to come here, they finish him. People like the guy Neto, you see them doing development, you finish them. You do that.
Murkomen, in all fairness, Murkomen, this is hearsay.
It is time.
This is hearsay.
It is time
If
the
people are not
people.
elected,
It is time. It is time the people. It's the time people of Nyanza. It's time people of Nyanza
In
have
conclusion,
a honest conversation and embrace what we have had in Rift Valley. Look at us in Rift Valley. Look at us in Rift Valley.
Murkomen,
You have new leaders all over. You have one person running for presidency.
One thing that Murkomen...
Yes,
I'm not
Rosa
going
Buyu,
to-
please
I'm
go
not
ahead.
going to be as
Please respond to what he
as
said, yes.
Murkomen, Because I'm a leader.
You need to change.
And
No,
I
let
believe
her have
in
her
this- I
moment,
believe in
yes.
this country. I want to say this. The reason why Raila is going through the process he's going through is because he loves this country.
No.
Can you just shut up and give me a chance?
Why won't you let her have a chance? Yes.
Because they did not.
It's because he loves
They
this
didn't let me
country, and Raila Amolo Odinga, more than any other person in this country, has fought to put this country to where it is.
I doubt.
You and Ruto must doubt it. But that's
Are
your problem.
you diminishing the sacrifices Raila Odinga has made for this country?
Because he wants to be abusive. Now, what Raila is fighting for now, and I can back that up. In 2007, Raila did win this race, but he gave it up because of the love he has for this country. In 2013, he gave it up because of the love he has for this country. Raila, like everybody else, grows older. And he knows that at this point in time, if he quits politics and leaves Kenya with the sort of electoral process that it has, Larry, I've seen you laugh because you, like Murkomen, believe that Raila can never say it enough. Just shut up and give me a chance.
That is, nothing could be farther from the truth.
Okay, just shut up and give me a chance. So what it is, what Raila is doing now is putting his best foot forward to fight for this country and to ensure that the electoral process...
Where's Kalonzo?
Larry,
Where's Mudavadi?
are we going to have an opportunity to talk?
Murkomen, Ledama, let Rosa say her point. Then you will say.
Are we going to have an opportunity to
We
talk?
all do better, and we can have a substantive conversation if we practice turn taking.
Of course
if
we
we all
can.
talk at the same time,
but because
nobody
he
gets
wants
the
to
point
shout
across.
and he wants to become
Please, Rosa, make your
abusive,
point. Please,
which is characteristic of Murkomen, we don't go far. So what Raila is doing now, and I'm saying it in English.
Yes.
Sabina, open your...
This is a very good discussion.
What Raila is doing now is putting his best effort forward to bring the country to the level where, Larry, if you vote, Sabina, you and Muranga, but if you vote, that vote will count.
Right.
That is what he's doing.
Counted.
That is what he's doing. He does not want to leave a country where 15 million people will vote, but computers will decide on who wins. That is what he doesn't want to do.
Yes, Ledama, pick it up, and then I'll come to you, Sabina.
I should interrogate a little.
We'll have to Ledama, and then you,
I
Sabina.
think my advice to my brother Murkomen, is that you and I are going to be in the Senate together. The
So you're
train,
taking a note.
the train
Answered.
has already left the train station. I think what you and I ought to do is to go and discuss the best way for this separation. For this listen. You
That's
know,
a joke.
The most
The Senate has
mature
no
way.
time for such
Listen,
discussions.
let me tell you something. So, my brother, let me tell you what I've told you is this. And you know, it shocks me because we are fighting for the future of this nation.
There's no future.
You're not even 40 years old.
So you
should
agree
be
that this
talking
nation has no
about-
future, we should
You should be
secede?
talking about
we saying
the youth.
It's like there's no
Okay?
future.
No, listen. You should be talking about the youth. It saddens me to see a young person full of sycophancy, such that you cannot sit here
Is
and think
Raila
about
youth?
the
That is a
future of
tired
this
line.
country.
That's a tired
No,
line.
listen to me. You're a psychopath.
No,
That's
that's
what
a
you
very
are.
tired line.
No,
That's a
listen,
very tired
give me a chance to
It's
talk.
been used. It was used when I was re-elected.
No, it
You're
doesn't
wasting
matter.
time.
You
But
know,
I'm
this
giving
is,
these
this
are
is typical
facts.
Jubilee attitude,
Okay.
where nobody else can talk, nobody else
No,
can eat.
but
there must
he
be
feels
someone
like-
referring to
eating.
me.
As
No,
you
no,
want
no,
to eat,
because you
you
keep
want to
shouting.
have Kenyan
Ladies
food.
and gentlemen,
As we want.
ladies and gentlemen,
Can I finish?
please finish.
Can I finish?
Can I also?
think, no, Larry.
Yes,
and I
sir.
think
Yes,
Larry,
sir. Go ahead.
And this-
Yes, sir. No,
Larry,
hang on. Please
need-
finish your point.
We need to focus.
Please
on
finish your point,
important
Ledama.
facts.
Then we can move it along.
Because
Yes.
the people who are watching us, we're being watched by millions of people. We're
Okay.
leaders.
Make a case
we
for your
need
separation.
the case that I'm making is
Every
this.
Kenyan wants a chance to be
Let me
listened to,
t-
which
exactly.
you cannot give them.
Just give me
That's
a
why
ch-
we must separate.
Thank
so
you,
that you
Rosa.
can go on shouting in your
Okay.
country as we listen to one another
Listen,
in ours.
I made it very
Rosa
clear.
was
No,
campaigning
just
with William Ruto in 2007 and Raila.
No, you
That
know-
was then before he caught bad
So-
manners
Can I
of
finish?
Jubilee.
you know, Kipchumba.
You keep the
I swear to God, if we were somewhere in the bush, I would take a rungu and slap you, hit you really hard.
That's why-
But let me tell you the truth.
No, that is
This
a
why
threat
we're
of
here.
violence.
But let me tell you
Ledama,
something.
that is a
My
threat of
point-
violence.
my
That's
point-
unacceptable.
My point is this. The reason why some of us are calling for separation is because we are tired of dominance. We are tired of
Even down this
injustices.
table, you're dominating.
Okay? I mean, look at him. Look at him. What we want is that we want an opportunity whereby Ledama can be president of this nation and is elected because
right.
of the content of his character, but not
Great.
because of dominance.
Okay.
So what I'm
Fantastic.
saying, no, hold on, let me finish. What I'm saying is this: we have issues.
How come-
Let us just.
You're not next to speak. It is
No, it's all
Sabina.
right. Sabina,
Yeah,
talk.
I'm up next. And my question was, Rosa talked about Baba.
Yes.
And how he loves
I'm
his
glad
nation.
you're calling him Baba. That's
He's
what
our
I'm calling him.
Baba.
But then he's now Babu.
Yeah.
So it's
He's our
okay.
Babu, actually.
Yeah. And how he loves this nation. And I think he's a statesman because I respect him. And I know he did a lot for fighting for democracy in this nation, but he was not the only one. We have the Koigu Amori, we have the Kenneth Matiba, and they don't go bragging. They have done their bits. My worry is, Rosa says like Baba is desperate to accomplish a mission. And I want to ask a question.
What?
Did Baba mentor anyone? Because if he did, he should trust
He's mentored you without
he
all
should,
his efforts.
he
you
should
wouldn't
trust
be
Rosa
free to speak the
that
way you're
even without
speaking.
Baba, Rosa would take up the mantle and move on. But it's not a one-man show. Secondly, this nation is bigger than myself, than Murkomen,
I'm
than you
glad you're
too.
agreeing with me.
Why did
And-
he say did he mentor anyone?
Because she
ODM,
talked
as
about-
the oldest party in the current setup,
Yes.
has MPs, governors, senators from all around the country.
these MPs
people who
cannot
are
move.
under the
cannot
political
move.
umbrella of Raila
They
Odinga.
cannot move.
She said it is only him who has the solution.
Oh no.
And that's-
Sabina, I
and-
said
and-
speaking Kiswahili.
I know
because when
it's
I speak
okay.
in English,
Even
you need to
Kikuyu, I'll still understand better.
There's a problem here,
But
guys.
the thing is
There's
this.
a problem here.
When she spoke, it's just about Baba and nobody else. What I want to say is that this nation is bigger than any one of us,
You
including
believe in
bigger than even Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
You believe in that?
And that is why the numbers and the voting, as you talked about, the voters spoke. People were on the line for 6 hours. And I want to remind you what happened in 2007. We all went through a lot of pain in this nation. And I want to tell you again and remind you that Kenyans are not ready to go back to what happened in 2007. And that is why, if you are gentleman enough, if you love this nation, if you are patriotic,
Dominance.
and if you believe there were Vifaranga, whatever it was, because, you know, Radley, we have gone through some stories. You know, it's like those short stories. Once there was hacking, and somebody was asked, how did you discover there was hacking unless you're trying to hack? They could not answer. Second, IBC is almost to announce we will not go to court because we don't trust in courts, and people walked out. Third, we are coming back to court, and they just show up some minutes before midnight.
All in their right.
Fifth, and again, we are now in court, but we don't trust what will happen because the decision was made by the people, so we might look for another story. Unajua, this is just storytelling. I want to tell these guys, if you are true Democrats, please don't take your oath.
No, hold on.
Tell
hold
even
on.
your governors to take
No,
your
no,
oath.
no.
If you
Listen,
believe you're
you
not
know-
elected,
you
if
know,
you believe you also be
Sabina, sorry,
parangas,
with all due
don't take
respect,
your oath. Let us show Kenyans that we actually
what you're saying.
believe
let me
in
tell
what
you.
you're talking about.
Okay.
But
No,
right
listen,
now,
let me just
we
finish.
just have a lot
Before
of
you
hot
say-
air.
Great.
Let me just finish.
Just
Sabina,
hot
before
air.
you say
Sabina.
something,
It's
can
just
I
a lot of
say,
hot air.
honourables,
Sabina.
could we make shorter points so we can move the
Yes,
discussion
my
along faster?
my point is very
Yes.
short. Sabina, we are where we are today because of two things, which I hope you will always remember when you live here. We are
One.
here because of impunity and because of injustice.
How?
No, listen. You know, everything which is happening, okay, in this country.
Including your election.
No, come on, please. Give me a chance to talk and I finish what I'm saying. You know, I'm not here to try and argue
Continue.
with you.
We
I'm
are
here
listening.
because I'm elected by the people of Narok
So you're not
to
a
defend their
Kifaranga.
rights. Okay? You understand? So when you keep making this as if it's a joke, it is not a joke.
Can I say something,
Okay?
Larry?
How
So
does it
this
make your
dominance-
election was
this
fair, but the
dominance-
presidential
this-
was
no,
not?
No. This
Rally.
dominance that you guys keep on pushing
It's not about
for
dominance, it's a
is
fact.
what is making us
Fable,
say,
your facts.
you know what? If enough is enough. You
Table
go
your
your way, we
facts.
go away.
Yes,
Which
please
way will you
respond to
go?
that, Murkomen, yes.
I think,
Yes, sir.
first of all,
don't give him
first
2
of all,
hours.
as a country,
A short point,
yeah,
Murkomen.
but you know, let's listen. You see, I kept quiet. Number one is to say that Uhuru Kenyatta is in State House, not Kikuyus.
Exactly.
William Ruto is the deputy president, not Kalenjins. Raila Odinga is the leader of opposition, not Luos. The point we must understand here is that when a person is elected as an individual, it's by virtue of his character and ability to lead. And the day Kina wants to run for president, he must convince Kenyans that he can lead them and he will get their votes.
But will I be
The
given a
day
chance
Joe
to
wants,
run?
as he said, he wants
Why
to run
not?
for
Yes.
president.
Convince us.
And every politician who comes to office, every child who is born in this country, whether it's a Rendile, whether it is one community, must have an opportunity to dream to even lead this country.
That's
and
a
that's
joke.
really
That's
that is
a
really
joke in
where
Kenya
that's
today.
where we are moving towards.
That's a
and
joke.
number two is that my friend has talked about this country is about young people. And I think it's important that we mentor young people and give them an opportunity not to dim their light. And unfortunately, it is the Jubilee side. And I speak for myself, I speak for William Ruto. In the region where we come from, he has taken deliberate effort to mentor so many of us. That's why an average age of a member of parliament in Rift Valley,
Only
Rift
if
Valley
they are
College,
yes,
let me
yes
just
to
listen.
him.
No,
Yeah,
really.
no,
No,
not
let him
necessarily.
finish.
Average age of most of
Let him
us is
finish.
30s, yeah? And even the youngest governor comes from Nandi, place. If you get the youngest senator, it comes from Nandi, the same place, 28 years, and Kericho. Because we've been given a chance to grow so that leadership can move forward. And I think that's really what these people should start thinking about, that it is the failure of Baba that he can be the only person who runs and fails 4 times, and that there can be no other person who can do the same. It's unfortunate because he should have mentored other person.
How do you arrive at that conclusion?
I
Shocks
arrive at that
me.
conclusion because if you are sacrificial enough, if you are somebody who has a heart for people, once you've tried 2-3 times, you tell Kenyans, ladies and
No,
gentlemen,
you know.
I have given my
Give it
best.
to Rosa.
What if you
Let
believe,
me give
what if
Kalonzo another chance.
Murkomen,
Let me give Mudavadi
Mudavadi.
another chance. Let me give Mother Karu another chance. Let me
Musalia.
other
what
person
if you
Musalia.
believe rightfully
Yeah.
Rosa
in
can
his
also be
case
there.
that he believes the election was stolen from him those 2 times and it's happened a 3rd time?
Yes.
And if it was not about him, because the discussion here has been, it was not about Raila, it's
not
about the
about
rest of
Raila.
Kenya.
He
it's
said
about
that
Kenya.
it was never about him, it was about the integrity of the elections.
Yes.
Hand over the baton. Give it to someone else. Tell
With
them,
a flawed-
ladies,
with a flawed
there's-
election
there-
process,
You
how will
know,
it help?
you know, when
Why is
you
there
lose
proof?
an election 4 times.
No, you know, I want to remind
When you look at
Murkomen.
election 4 times, people like Uhuru Kenyatta who lost once came and tried and won. You should, every time you're pointing at the referee,
Murkomen.
you're pointing at the other players.
Murkomen.
It's now time to re-examine yourself.
I
and
don't
say,
know whether
it
you
might-
have-
It might
Let
be
me-
Ali,
let me-
I
Great,
don't
you've
know
made your
whether
point.
you have
You've made your point.
I don't know whether you have a chance.
2007, do you believe Raila won or lost?
Oh, wait,
Because
wait,
you are
that's
one
why I
of
was
the
going
people who
actually.
were shouting with placards
Yeah.
that he won.
As a supporter,
talking to you as
as a
Murkomen,
supporter,
did you?
Yeah.
I believed he won. But the body that announced the results say that
So that is what we are
then-
saying.
then
That
in
is
this
won.
case-
exactly.
Kibaki won, and I have lived with that.
No.
Great.
There's
Let's,
nothing else I can do.
Murkomen, you've made your
That's
point.
something.
Murkomen, you've made your
That
point.
is exactly what we are saying. He's saying that he believed Raila won in 2007, but the body that announced the results gave it to somebody else.
And I
Because
accepted
so
it.
this
I
is what
accepted.
Raila is saying. Never again in this country
Every
should
supporter.
somebody win and the body that announces results claims that somebody
I have a
else who has
question here.
lost is the winner.
Yes,
That
Sabina.
is the point.
Great,
So,
Sabina.
Rosa, tell Kenyans.
I've just told them
And
now.
I just want to ask you a question. And straight, who won these elections, 2017?
You tell me, computer-wise or by
No,
voting?
I'm asking you because
I
you
think-
The
said
people
who won?
vote or the computers vote? You tell me.
All
the people's vote. Who
The
won?
people's vote
Who
is
won?
Raila Amolo
Yeah,
Odinga.
because every supporter.
But the computer generated
No.
results,
He won without
Uhuru
much.
we
Muigai
have
Kenyatta.
You won without much?
you know, yes.
Okay.
The
Now,
difference
here's the
between
thing.
Raila and Uhuru was 1.8 million.
So who had won?
Okay.
No.
Raila
Let's not start
Amolo
over
Odinga.
again.
have the
Ledama,
proof.
Every
Ledama,
supporter
the proof.
believes he's the
no,
candidate.
Ledama, Ledama. Yes,
Is
yes.
this story?
Hang on. Let
Right.
Ledama finish his point. You've asked your question.
You know, Murkomen, I really want us to be sober, and I want us to think about the future of this nation. We've got a disputed election. It is now in the hands of the. Yeah, just
the
listen.
courts.
We have. It is in the hands of the courts. So let us give these good men, who we believe that they will give a fair ruling.
That's good.
Okay. Let us give them an opportunity. Where we're here, we need to discuss issues, and we must agree, because you said here that you speak on behalf of William Ruto. The same William Ruto in 2007 is the one who was complaining about the same issues we are complaining about, and he was on the other side. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, I want to remind you that Kenyans out there, the youth who we represent, you actually agreed with me. You said where you come from, the majority of leaders there are young people. Let us give them a chance. What Raila is saying,
Let him give them a chance.
Can you give me a chance to talk? I'll give you a chance to shout all you want, yeah?
I
But
just
give me
say,
a
I
minute
agree
to
with you,
finish.
Raila should give them
No,
a
no.
chance.
Just shut up and listen to me, and then I'll let you talk.
Okay.
What I think we ought to do is this. We need to remember that, and I said this from the beginning. My opening statement was this. It is not about Uhuru Kenyatta, and it is not about Raila. It is about the future of this nation. And Raila was very clear. He said he will not stand and watch Kenyans suffer, because if I feel that we have suffered, and you feel that you've suffered greatly. No, hold on. We're in this limbo now because not everyone is happy. We don't want a situation whereby in this country we are back to this position.
All right.
Okay?
So is it that I just
As
want
we
to-
conclude,
as we conclude,
Sabina.
if you have a child,
Yes, I
and
do.
this your son goes to school one day, and comes and reports that his book was stolen the first day. The second day he comes back and reports again his book was stolen. Third and fourth, you must ask yourself a very hard question: who has a problem? Is it the child who is stealing, or your son has a problem?
The son who is stealing, the child who is stealing.
So
Not-
is
not
your
my son.
is your son so dumb
Okay.
that his book must be stolen 4 times?
You know, if you're dominating,
And this is a question.
if you dominate,
And this
there's
is,
no way
let me
you're going to
finish.
give me an opportunity.
And this is the question. If you are saying 2007 it was stolen, 2013 again,
I think
2017,
2007, you're actually crying with us.
what do you mean?
Okay, but go on.
My people were killed. And I'll tell you, we
That's what I'm
cannot,
saying.
we
We're all-
cannot go back to 2007. And that's why I'm telling you, Kenyans have decided. That is even when you guys told Kenyans not to go to work on Monday, they asked you, are you going to put bread on our table? We must go and work. And there's no way, no political leader, including ourselves, even Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, who is going to manipulate the minds of Kenyans. They made up their minds. They were on the lines. And let me tell you, and this must be a wake-up call for the NASA come ODM, that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and William Ruto went out and looked for votes. They went out and campaigned when you guys were doing press conferences. They went out for 4 years. Let me finish. They went out for 4 years. They did development projects, including where we were not even given votes, including where you did not even give us votes now. Rosa, you have a highway in
Don't talk
Kisumu.
about development
I'm looking at you
projects, please.
smiling, courtesy of
True,
coalition government
but
in 2007.
you have a highway
Nothing to
in
do with
Kisumu.
William Ruto and Uhuru.
Where we had leaders who
See,
were
get your facts right.
had a constituency for many years that are still using flying toilets. And when Jubilee government went to try and help that community, some people went and incited them against it.
Are you talking about
Kenyans-
Kibera and the
exactly.
NYS and the
So
NYS?
Kenyans,
You do realize that ended up in scandal.
In scandals, yeah?
so
Which
it's
was part of
okay.
the
But what
Jubilee
I'm saying is this:
government,
which Jubilee government?
So does that justify
Let's individuals-
computers determining who our
And
leaders are?
if
Your
it's
point
computers,
really-
Rally, we must agree on this one. That Jubilee government won square because
No, we're
of
not
their
gonna
development
agree. No,
agenda.
No. We will not agree
And
on that.
if these two,
The two
or
of
if
you
the
will
NASA,
agree,
they
but I
agree
will
that
not
it's
agree
about
with you.
Vifaranga or generated results, computer generated, they should not take their oath. And if they're not accepting that, then we don't have a discussion. Don't
Alright.
take Kenyans for a ride.
What is the
Don't.
discussion in court?
Can I
Whether
make my
people are taking their
concluding
oaths or
Yes,
not.
Don't take Kenyans on a ride.
Murkomen,
I
please
think,
make your
in
closing
response
submissions.
to what Olekina said, let's agree this way. I am in the Senate. My responsibility under Article 96 of the Constitution is to shepherd county governments, ensure that they get more resources, more accountability, better legislations. I am very proud of the senators who have been elected to governors, Senator Anyang' Nyong'o, Kiraitu, Sang, and Sonko. They are doing a fantastic job together with the other governors. There is no time. I can tell you, any person who's contemplating that he will be doing mass action and protests, I want to remind them that there's a new sheriff in Nairobi called Sonko. And today he was moving from one office to the other, fighting corruption and accountability in that city. We will not allow those shenanigans.
Are you saying, hang on, are you saying that, wait, hang on, let me follow up. Are you saying that because Sonko is the new sheriff in town, he will not allow protests?
No, I'm just saying, not protests, not the protest. We will not allow any person, I have not completed my sentence. I said, we will not allow any person to distract the new leaders who are in town, ensuring that they change the lives of people of Kibera, of Mathare. You know, Sonko is really coming in with a lot of hope of people in the slums that want to make a difference. Senator Anyang' Nyong'o, who is the governor of Kisumu, is going in with a great mind, one of the persons who worked on the Vision 2030 issues, and I can see him, he's preparing to take over Kisumu to the greater heights. Kiraitu is doing the same in his place. Senator Sang, who is the governor of Nandi, is doing the same, and the other governors across. I see Joe. Joe yesterday appeared, a different Joe. He's preparing himself now for a legacy. The same with Nanok in Turkana. We want to go to Senate with Kina and others and provide an opportunity for these governors, create legal framework, work with them, consultation, cooperation, change this nation.
All right.
We have no time to debate about, and all these people I'm talking about were elected in the same elections with Uhuru Kenyatta. They were elected in the same elections with me and all of us who are here on the table. When the courts will finally make the decision about the petition of Honorable Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka, we will have concluded that process. And I believe that as a country now, we move forward to make this nation a great place to be.
Let me just say something. I
Yes,
think, Kipchumba, what we must agree is that the leadership in this country must be inclusive. We need to, for us to have a brighter future and for our children to be proud of the work that we've done. When I said Raila fought for me, I said Orengo fought for me, is because I used to see them in the streets. Now the position that I am as a senator-elect of Narok County is to fight for the future generation. And I want us to go to march that way and ensure that there's a complete fiduciary responsibility, and also we will have elections that we'll be proud of.
All right.
Anytime we have a problem, we need to look back and say, what is going on? We need to be our own men and think on our own and report back to the people who elected us.
Okay.
For me, I think we need to create a position in government. I want to agree with him. Raila is a very great man, and he is a statesman. He's a man that most of us have learned from him. Only if I wish he considered defeat, and even if he didn't, now he's in court, whatever the outcome of the court would be, I would request both Raila and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to accept the decision of the court, because they have actually both of them have told us that they are waiting for the decision. After that, maybe, and I would like humbly to request His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to create a position for Raila, so that he can mentor majority of us, so that he can become an advisor, and actually show us what democracy is all about.
All right.
And once we rest that, whatever the decision of the court is going to be, we don't want people to go to the streets. We don't want people to be incited.
People have a right to go to the streets. The Constitution allows them to do so.
He is a leader. He's a statesman. Once he speaks, I know 6.something million, almost 7, they voted for him. And they respect him. They're waiting for his voice.
Okay.
I would beg and plead with him that he accepts the decision of the court. I don't know how it's going to be. If it's
Are you ready to accept if the election
Of course, of course, we are ready.
So are you?
We are ready to
So when you
accept.
were here,
We are ready,
Murkomen,
and
and
so-
this is a very straight question.
And I am pleading for a position.
For both of you. Let me ask you about, before we talk about a position.
Yes.
Are you guys prepared that maybe the decision might actually not favor you and favor
Yes,
Of course,
NASA?
of course.
So then,
Of course
so that
we are.
in this table, let us not,
Of course.
let us not talk as if we already know the decision.
We don't know, but for sure we are
Because,
ready to
because
accept.
what Sabina
Okay.
you
Can I
said.
have my call? I
Yes.
think they've done the...
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Rosa.
Finish. We have said, and for me, I'm saying,
Can I have my call?
Yes, Sabina, proceed. No.
Rosa.
you're not the moderator. Why? How come
Now,
you are not the
Ledama wants to do my
He
job
became-
too.
We talk
You're
too
not
much.
moderator.
Yes, Rosa.
But I think that
This
would
is
be
what
a
I want
nice
to say.
position for him.
As a country, at the moment, we are not sitting in a very good place.
No, we're not.
Why? We're in a situation where the Constitution grants us the right to picket if we want, to show displeasure if we want, so long as we are not violent or so long as we are not making life unbearable for the other people. But sections of this country or parts of this country are being denied that right. We saw exactly what happened after the announcement of results, of the presidential results. People in parts of this country came out to demonstrate, which is their right, to show displeasure with what had happened or the outcome of the elections. What was the result or what was the outcome? We had babies, even as young as 6 months, being fished out of their parents' houses and being killed.
It's very sad.
We saw young people who were basically not doing anything, being pulled out of their homes and being killed. Why? Because they come from certain communities. This is not healthy. And when something like that happens, you have that feeling of revolt inside you, which is not good for a united Kenya. And so I think that the police, and by extension the government, must go back and read that constitution. And instead of killing its citizens, look after and protect its citizens and allow its citizens to enjoy the constitution to its fullest.
Okay.
I agree, but I think this nation needs some tutorials on what picketing is all about and what peaceful demonstration is all about. And there's a very thin line currently
Let's not start
in
a
Kenya.
new discussion. Sabina.
Exactly.
Okay.
And everybody has a right to picket and to leave.
All
And
right.
it's unfortunate where the kids were involved. Very unfortunate for all of us.
Okay.
But again, we need to be very careful. Let's not whip emotions of Kenyans through falsehood.
Okay.
There are some people who even sent images that are not true. There are some people who even started saying their demonstration in cities
Places
or in
where there are no
towns that
demonstrations,
were
yes.
not.
I know and what
And
I
so
witnessed,
let us
because
not.
that happened in
and
the
I've-
constituency of the county that I represent.
I've said,
Okay.
this nation, and let's all remember, it's greater than all of us.
All right. Before we let you go, I want to get your comments on Gladys Wanga and Godono Mushomba have been talking about allowances. I want to play that for you right now so you can all comment because you're elected representatives.
You have to go there.
Yes, I have to go there because as our elected representatives, we need to know your positions on whether you're going to demand a pay rise or not. This is what Gladys Wanga and then Godono Mushomba said.
I will demand.
There is a mission to demean the legislative arm of government. There is a mission to demean members of parliament and reduce them to beggars, and perhaps like in the 90s expect them to go to the executive every Friday begging for handouts to be able to go back to their constituencies. And this will not happen under our watch at the Parliamentary Service Commission.
Let's use the right procedures to slash and add, but let's not play hide and seek games.
So you're going to support this move?
Definitely, yes. I want to be paid well. I worked. I fought it out to be a member of parliament. I campaigned. I used my resources. I want to be paid well. I want to be honored for who I am, for what I have been able to achieve.
The four of you are all MPs.
Let me start.
Do you support sitting allowances, mileage allowances, car grants for MPs and senators?
Listen.
Is that a yes or a no first?
No, wait. I just want to say this. It can only be explained.
So that's a yes.
No, yeah, yes, but let me explain to you.
That's a yes. Let me poll the
no,
group
wait,
first
just
before you
fine, just
explain.
fine. No.
Do you
No,
support this?
just a yes,
I'll come
no,
back to
a
you to
yes
explain.
alone- a yes alone
yes.
cannot answer
I'm
my
going to
question.
give you a
It's not a
chance.
yes, no.
I'm going to give you a chance. Let me poll the rest of the panel. Do you support the
I'll wait to
reinstatement?
be sworn in to comment on that.
What about you?
No.
You don't support the mileage allowances, sitting allowances, all of that? The SRC removed all of these things, the car grant, sitting allowances, mileage allowances.
I'll have to look at it, but when Uhuru came, last time he came to Parliament, I want to remind Murkomen that he said we were actually to take...
I'm coming back to him. I just want to
Yes,
know, is that a yes or no?
yeah.
I'm coming back to, is it a yes or no? Do you support the...
No.
No. So you're fine without car grant, mileages, sitting allowances, all of that?
Uhuru talked about our salary, not the grants
No.
and allowances. and
I
everything.
want a yes or a no.
I said no.
No. Great. What about you?
Yes,
Do you
I support
you
Gladys
support?
Wanga.
Let
Absolutely.
me
You support Gladys Wanga?
Now let me say what
Now
I
you
said.
can qualify why.
And you let me qualify
yes.
mine as
Listen,
well.
Larry, I don't care about the salary I'm going to be paid. That's not a problem with me. 600,000 is good enough to be a salary.
Ruto has given them
We
enough.
have, just wait, we have a problem.
Yes.
Running the office of senator is a
Thank
very
you.
difficult task.
Thank you.
I've just come from a re-election where I go every ward and people are asking me, who is your contact person here? If we wanted to give our petitions, we give to who? How is your office going to run? Pay me the 600,000, even slash it to 500,000, I don't care. But make the office of the senator to have a vehicle to go around, create enough staff for us to be able to have contact persons in the county, provide the resources that are going to run the office. Don't even give me that money. Create a department in the Parliamentary Service Commission, and you will know that, Rosa, because you are coming in as a county women rep, you will know that running the office of the senator, because it's one of the offices that has no any resources, is a very difficult task. Why would I want, as Murkomen, to now remove my salary? Even the 700,000 we were being paid last time was nothing when you have to use that money, and I had to put some people in contract in my county, pay them from my personal resources so that I continue having contract in the county. Why would I want to be elected to an office and manage the office itself? So, Larry, I want you to get it very clear. Pay me that money, even 600,000, reduce it to 500, even 400, but ensure that my office has a car, has enough staff to run the office, and I can be able to reach my people when I want to.
You are going to fist bump him.
Actually,
You've not even been sworn in, and you're already complaining about how much you stand to make.
That's irrelevant. What I'm actually agreeing with the Murkomen is that
Now you see
the work. Just wait.
Now you agree across the political
and
divide.
I think, Murkomen, you and I will have to work closely together to ensure that. Hold on. Just listen. To ensure that the Senate becomes the real upper house. Number one. We have to ensure that.
Why are we having a different discussion?
Now, number one.
Ledama,
just listen.
This discussion has happened for 4.5 years. Let's talk about allowances, car grants.
Come on. Murkomen, you and I, we go around. How many constituencies do you have?
I do have 4. You have
I have 6 constituencies.
I have 7.
I cannot even be paid like an MP.
Some people have 12.
Okay, some people have 12.
Yeah.
So I think it's with all fairness. If you look at my phone now, there are probably 60 or 100 text messages asking me for harambes and stuff like that. Okay? And then we are sitting there and watching governors crisscrossing the counties with helicopters. First of all, we have to stop that. Number 2, we must be paid enough so that and also for us to be able to run our offices properly.
Why do you want to be paid a sitting allowance for doing your job?
We are not talking about all that.
Why do you want a car grant? Why do you want a mileage allowance, which ordinary Kenyans...
I have said, buy a car, a GK car, and give it to the office of Senator.
I'll ask you a question which was asked before.
My term,
are you paid overtime?
True.
I'm not paid overtime.
You're not paid overtime.
Yeah.
Then some of us will be working overtime,
Yeah.
and we should be paid for that.
President Kenyatta, you mentioned, President Kenyatta said you don't come into leadership to make yourself rich.
It's because he's already rich, and we're not interested in getting us rich. We're not interested. We're already rich.
Larry, and I want to make this abundantly clear. As long as the office of the senator in the Republic of Kenya is going to be what it is today,
it is not
will
going.
be
We have
an
to amend the
attractive
constitution.
office. It will not be possible for anybody to serve. Because what is the point of you putting me in an office? I don't have a car to go around the county. I have no employees who are contact persons in every ward. I have no possibility of getting petitions from my people or ability to read them.
I want to say something, Brad.
It is not the salary, it is not the sitting allowances. I don't care about that.
I want to say something.
I care about the running of the office. And as I told you, remove the car allowances, the whatever, mileage allowances, car grants and so forth. Buy a car called GK of the office of the senator. After 4 years, it remains with that office.
All right.
Yes, Sabina. Myself and Murkomen, because we are second-time MPs. He's a senator, I'm a woman, right?
She has money. She has a big kitty.
It's not about money. I actually don't have as a big kitty as a member of parliament.
At least you have
And even the vehicle is the same as the CDF vehicle, which is used by our staff members. The only thing I'm saying is this. Bradley, we all came into positions. He also vied for a second time as a senator, knowing what was waiting for him. So right now, we are discussing about something that Sarah Sarem has said. I don't have the details. And that's why I said, when I came in, the president had already mentioned that our salaries would go down. So whatever they are offering us, it's okay, I'll take it. I'll not debate about it. But not because Uhuru said, we were already, that's why you went to ask for votes. You didn't go tell people, vote for me. And if my salary is going to be this amount, then don't vote for me. You went and asked people to give you votes. Secondly, the issues about the vehicles, what Murkomen said, I support. Because we must be facilitated. Third, we must do civic education. That a member of parliament is not the person who is supposed to attend your weddings and give you money for weddings and give you money for funerals and give you money for arambes. We must do a lot of civic education, and you, as the media, and the people must come in and help us.
Okay. So
that then when Senator Murkomen says, my work is legislature, I must go and speak on behalf of your people. And that's why we had a lot of turnout. And I'll tell you, we only had 10 women reps coming back to parliament.
Yes.
And only a few senators coming back. Because people are asking, fine, the governor has built this much, what have you done?
Great.
And not understand that the governor has billions and you have nothing.
All right,
so there's a lot to be done. It's not just about this discussion, it's about how much I'm going to be paid.
All right.
But there's a lot of facilitation, what the people expect from you and what you are being provided for.
Wonderful. Let's leave it. This is what Kenyans think, by the way. Kinyo Mike says, so now on salaries and benefits, Ledama and Murkomen had an agreement. Wa Kenya tumecheswa.
Hakuna kuchezwa. The same
guy. What's his
who
name?
are making those
Kinyo
comments.
Mike.
That's the same
Tomorrow
Kinyo.
they will
He's the one
inbox
who
and
be
say,
asking,
"Mheshimiwa unaweza nikatumia kakitu."
Alafu.
Because let me tell you, and there must be a serious conversation in this country. The fear that politicians have ever, now that I'm second time, I can say this. You see,
Why could you say it in your first time?
because I did not have the experience.
All
I have
right,
had 4.5 years experience of using my pocket money to run an office. And I am saying enough is enough.
All right.
The first assignment of the senators who are coming in is to make that office an office that is running. Because, and Ledama talked about generations. I don't want other senators to come and ask, were people in this house? And how was it possible that these people just sat like this and they never enabled that office to function?
Okay.
So we must make sure that the office is functioning.
All right.
That's what is
And I think that thanks to the few women reps who actually created a small kitty.
Fantastic.
And when we come back to Parliament, we're going to actually now work on
We have
it.
to leave it there.
That's
Ladies
why
and
some of
gentlemen.
us had to fight again to become women reps.
I was going to talk
We
about the
just
deputy
possible.
president in Kirinyaga yesterday, but I think we're out of time, so we'll have to leave that.
Let's
What?
not talk about this.
Do you really want us to go there?
No.
Let us go there then.
Yes.
This was Deputy President William Ruto yesterday at Anne Waiguru's inauguration in the great county of Kirinyaga. You've got to see this to believe it.
Salamu nyingi ya pongezi kutoka rais na kutoka kwangu na kutoka familia nzima la Jubilee kwenu watu wa Kirinyaga. Hawa wananchi walituambia na mimi nilisikia kwa masikio yangu mwenyewe, kazi iendelee. Hawakusema tuchaguliwe ndio tugombane ama tuanze makelele.
Did that seem amiss to you? Anything that was off about that?
No, nothing. I mean,
Nothing.
the deputy president first congratulated the people of Kirinyaga for voting for them, but also for voting for
it's in
the
their
leaders,
choice.
actually leaders of their choice.
Great, let's leave it there for
So,
the moment.
really?
Let's leave it there for the moment because this was also the deputy president a few months ago.
But surely, if a hairdresser registers 20 companies, gets contracts, is paid millions. The millions, admittedly, she says she carried millions in bags and sacks like potatoes. And then you want to tell us stories. Oh, you know, this is... please, give us a break. Kiingereza mingi. Mnafanyia catwalk hapa around. Na ni wazi pesa ya umma imepotea. Mwenye hiyo pesa anasema aliweka kwa gunia. Sasa jameni, kweli dunia hii, you know, we must be honest with ourselves. That we must be honest with ourselves. And we will call a spade a spade.
So what's the problem?
What changed from Kizungu Mingi na catwalk to Salamu Nyingi?
Let me ask you, Larry.
I want to
Let me help. Let me help.
One person at a time,
have
ladies
seen-
and
so
gentlemen.
that you can come to
Let me help you on that.
I have seen that clip being run all the time, and the argument is that the deputy president was discussing Anne Waiguru. But where is he discussing Anne Waiguru?
Oh, we have the full clip. He was talking
No,
about Anne
no,
Waiguru.
honestly.
In lots of different
Not
occasions,
at
the
all.
deputy president...
There is no single
the
sentence.
deputy
No,
president...
no, let me just start with
Kipchumba
that. Let's start with
Murkomen,
that.
the deputy president asked Anne Waiguru to carry her own cross.
But no, you inferred. You yourself inferred.
Kipchumba,
Number
let me help
two
you.
now.
Let me help you.
Assuming, I'll come to
Let him finish, let him finish, let him finish.
Assuming, therefore, he was talking about her, yeah, and told her you carry your own cross, you make sure you go through the legal processes. She went through that legal process. She went back to her people elected her. So what's the problem?
Okay, let me help you.
Where's the problem? I mean,
Kipchumba.
if we are a country...
Ledama, then we'll come to you, Sabina.
Kipchumba, let me help you on this.
Inconsistencies of Jubilee.
William Ruto is a true politician. And someone once told us there are no enemies in politics. So I think back then he saw it differently. Now he's thinking about 2022. Okay? So he's got to put that aside. No, listen. there's so many, you know, I'm actually helping you. But I think I'm helping you on this one. But I think my sister has said here one thing which I want to remind you. There's a lot of inconsistency.
Too much.
But you'll expect that in politics.
No
okay?
principles, no
What
works
before
when?
you say it. So remember this as you go. I'm really helping you. And let me not even finish it.
You're helping him because you are
Sabina,
giving salaries.
No.
You're giving salaries. Sabina.
When I watched the elections, William Ruto's vote was in Gishu.
Yes, sir.
When the president went to Kirinyaga, he asked the people of Kirinyaga to make a decision.
Yes.
They made their decision. William Ruto went there yesterday as a leader of Jubilee to appreciate the decision of the Kirinyaga people. And there's no way that would go against the decision of the people. And I think this is democracy. And that's what we are seeing, democracy in Jubilee.
Great. Rosa, do you agree?
Inconsistencies of Jubilee. I don't want to talk about it. It's so clear.
Fantastic. Let's leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. This has been most fascinating. Will you come back on Sidebar soon, all of you?
Yes.
Excellent. Hopefully we make shorter points and we allow people to
And I'll ask them whether they've taken their oath or not.
Especially for the samosas.
The samosas on Sidebar are the best. This is really the true highlight of the show.
But next time, make it early.
We have an 8 p.m. Sidebar, but then you'll complain that we don't have enough time because there's a lot of commercials on that block. Okay, Ledama, Kina, Rosa, Buyu, and Sabina, Chege, Kipchumba, Murkomen, thank you so much for coming on tonight. We're going to leave it there on Sidebar. Next week, we're back at 8 p.m. and at 10 p.m. I'll be away, but Trevor Bija will be here. We'll have a great show. It'll be tremendous, truly. There's no such a thing as traveling too much. All right, good night, everybody.